Much, Paul, for joining us, as usual. The JSE All Share ends for the very first time above 34,000 points today. Significant move, right? And all because of Mr. Ben Bernanke. So thank you very much, Ben Bernanke, for the positive news yesterday. Zero interest rates for longer.
Yeah, so it's an interesting tack that they're taking there, saying that interest rates are going to remain just about zero all the way through to 2014, which sounds ridiculous because in the same breath he's saying that, you know, long-term forecasts like that are just very hard to make. But I guess there's little downside for the Fed because they're kind of saying to the market, we're not going to be raising rates, so you must go ahead and invest while money is cheap now. But if the recovery comes sooner, well, then they can say in the light of new evidence, we're going to increase rates.
No, but he also said that inflation, they've got a target on inflation of 2%. And we know inflation is nowhere near 2% in the US at this point. It's still literally, it's literally zero. It's sitting like max 0.5%, which means that the market should also take a look from a signal with regards to inflation and say, well, if inflation hits 2%, we can expect an interest rate hike. And if it doesn't, then we know that we'll even keep rates lower for longer. So it's giving many signals to the market to reassure them.
They're kind of saying, look, if inflation were to pick up, it would be because there's pricing power in the economy, which because of some kind of demand-led scenario or where capacity utilization wasn't as, kind of tepid as it is now. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't put a lot of store by these kinds of factors, as you know, because, they come and they go, and you just got to kind of do your best. I'm more interested in the corporate earnings, which drive stock market valuations. And as we know, those have been quite favorable.
So tell us two of the companies. Caterpillar I know is one, and Netflix the other.
Yes, so two kind of signal examples, both of them bellwethers in a way. So, I mean, Caterpillar, we know, is a global business. It's keyed into construction, it's keyed into marine, it's keyed into mining. So a lot of the capital expenditure that's happening around the place.
And into Africa as well.
Africa, Asia, the whole lot. Also home building and all that kind of stuff in America. So very strong results, big beat. Share price trading at all-time highs, big numbers, so that's encouraging. Netflix is kind of a crazy story because remember, it fell on its face. This is a business that sells people subscription services via the internet to movies. Used to be DVD delivery, now mostly going online. It had a massive fall from $300 a share down to about $70. Better than expected results today, back at around $120. So if you were lucky enough to buy them when they were in the mid-60s, then you've immediately got a huge gain. But again, another example how the sort of new economy businesses are demonstrating their earnings power.
Apart from being really bitter about the fact that you weren't invited to WEF, you are watching the developments.
Yes, now I've refused to shave until I get an invitation to Davos.
Oh God, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan.
This guy, the JP Morgan CEO, I definitely think has got a huge future in politics. He's already been rumored as someone who could become a future Treasury Secretary if Geithner goes. Very good looking, powerful guy, on top of his game. He's basically standing in Davos saying, the world's fine, earnings looking good, Europe, who cares, tired of everybody telling bankers that they're bad people. He's good to go.
Until he needs to take a haircut. If he was part of that, then he'd have a totally different story.
This guy never needs to take a haircut. He looks fabulous at all times.
Greek sovereign bonds, Paul, that's what I'm alluding to. Thank you so very much.